The Edmonton Oilers made their presence known in this series against the Los Angeles Kings last night in Game 3 with a 7-4 victory. And here to break it all down with me is the one and only Mr. Cam Moon. And Cam, that was a big victory for the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, we're hearing from the Edmonton Oilers this morning that it's now about focusing on tomorrow. But let's focus on Game 3 for just a moment. What was it maybe that was different about last night's game that led the Edmonton Oilers to success?
Well, I thought they had a great start, and part of it, I'm sure, was fueled by the hometown crowd and being back at home. However, in Game 2, I thought they had the first couple of good shifts. It just didn't sustain itself. Well, it did, and they get on the board early, and now you've got a little bit of momentum, which they did. And the Oilers' ability to get pucks to the net from anywhere and force Kings netminder Darcy Kemper to make a save, and there might be a tip, there might be a rebound, it might lead to more chances, which I thought it did. And the continuation of that, of continuing to put it to the net, I thought was different than the first two games. And that helped a lot. And then, I mean, the Kings, they pushed back, give them credit. Then they're up 3-2, and we've got ourselves a game. But you know that's going to happen at some point. It's a very good Los Angeles Kings team. Having players that have been out for a long time, and I think of Evander, Kane, I think of John Klingberg. Yeah. The fact that they've now got a couple of games under their belt, it makes it easier to contribute. When you're gone for that long, in Kane's case, 10 months, which is amazing that he's been as impactful as he has. And in Klingberg's case, from March 4th until Game 2.
And a bit similar in a way because he also had major surgery.
That's right.
Missed a lot of time.
Missed a lot of time, but he only had that one game near the end of March, and that was it. But for those guys to get up to speed, that's helping this team too, because that's just adding to the depth of the club. And both guys, I think, really making an impact in this series. And, you could see it. It came to the forefront, I thought, in Game 3. So they were able to, sustain that as well. So now they got to do it all again in Game 4. You don't want to be down 3-1 heading back into Los Angeles. I think that puts them in a pretty tough spot. But an opportunity that with a victory, it's a best of 3. So, I just thought the way they started that game and the way they were putting pucks to the net early was really what helped them springboard to success.
I like what you mentioned about Evander Kane specifically because it took him just 2 games to get back to what we're used to seeing with an Evander Kane style game. Of course, coming in clutch with that goal late to be able to tie the game, and that completely helped shift the momentum. And of course, he brings that physical presence. And then on the blue line with John Klingberg, especially when the Edmonton Oilers are missing someone like Mattias Ekholm, who is known for his brand of hockey of calming things down, it seems like number 36 is also able to add that as well. Let's focus on the special teams for a moment. Both special teams, in the power play and the penalty kill. Because the penalty kill, while the Kings were still successful on their power play, it's a very good power play, first of all. Second, Connor Brown said at postgame last night that it felt like it was a bit different. Of course, in the second period, the kill had some grade A opportunities that they created for themselves, that they jumped on. The power play also able to contribute in a big way for the Oilers.
Yeah, I'll start with the power play. I mean, that was obvious. To score what turns out to be the winning goal 10 seconds after you had just tied it, and the pandemonium that was going on.
What a play.
Oh,
what a moment.
Yeah, Rogers Place was incredible. That was obviously a huge factor in the game. So good to see the Edmonton Oilers power play giving it a few different looks, and those looks leading to opportunity. So good to see. The penalty kill, in both cases, Los Angeles scores late in the PK. And the Oilers had done quite well up until that point, and had clears, had, as you say, opportunity, and some great chances shorthanded. In fact, amazingly, the Oilers didn't score shorthanded. So it's positive in that they were close to killing them both off, but unfortunately didn't, and that Kings power play in this series it's off the charts. And that power play got going later in the year when Andrei Kuzmenko came to the team, and that's been a big part of it. And they have the 5 forwards on the ice, and for whatever reason, Kuzmenko has been the kind of the missing ingredient that they needed to have success. So late in the season, that power play was starting to swing up, and it has continued that here in the playoffs.
A major storyline last night was that Calvin Pickard got the start for the Edmonton Oilers. What did you think of his game?
Well, a couple of unfortunate goals in that it looked like it had hit Oilers sticks on the way. So upon further review, those goals I didn't think were as bad as maybe at first glance. Yeah, as it felt in the moment. The goal by Trevor Moore, the one-handed partial break where he got body position in behind Jake Wallman and just got enough of it to go 5-hole. I'm sure Calvin would like to have that back. It's a partial breakaway, but that was right after the Oilers had tied it, right after, and it was a bit of a momentum drain in the building. So as a goaltender, you want to be able to make that stop and keep your team at even terms. But in the third period, when it was all on the line, he made some big saves, and that's the sign of a guy that gets you wins. And here's a guy that got the Edmonton Oilers 22 wins this year and was, incredibly strong when games were on the line. So, yeah, they needed that from him, found a way to get it done. And that's all that at this time of year, that's really all that matters. Like, you can talk about expected goals and saves above expected and all of that and save percentage. But at the end of the day, you got to win 4 out of 7. And the guy that does that moves on to the next round.
So real quick, Game 4 Sunday night at Rogers Place. The Oilers have the opportunity to tie the series heading back to LA. What are going to be the keys for them to implement tomorrow night?
Wow, it'd be great if they could get some penalty kills, of course. And, I guess the less time you're on the PK, the better. But continue to do what you did in the first 10 minutes of the game, in the third period of that game. And the Kings are going to have something to say about it. They're a very good team. And there are going to be swings and momentum within the game. There's going to be times where the Kings will have the Oilers hemmed in. So you're going to have to ride that out. But to me, if they will give themselves an opportunity, if they have that same type of physicality in their game, which I thought they had a lot of, and have really throughout the series, and putting pucks to the net at the rate they have. So, and the fact that you see an Evander Kane playing as well as he is, which again is amazing, that adds another element, because between him and what Vasily Podkolzin is like, these guys are really like they're playing hard, and I think that's paying dividends for the team.
How fun is this city during this time of the year?
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And it all continues tomorrow night here at Rogers Place, Game 4 between the LA Kings and your Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers, an opportunity to tie the series heading back to LA.